the Wonder, written and directed by Terrence Malick, is a film that, when dissected, had everything going for it, but seemed to have a difficult time executing its intentions. The film starred Ben Affleck as Neil and Olga Kurylenko as Marina. The film opens up with beautiful shots of Paris, with Marina's voice telling the audience about her and Neil's love. Shortly after this, the story became convoluted as Marina and Neil's relationship began to face various struggles. Marina briefly comes across Father Quintana, played by Javier Bardem, and the audience then learns about him. As his story begins, Jane, played by Rachel McAdams, is also introduced, after Marina and Neil briefly part ways. While they were interesting characters, Jane and Father Quintana's stories left something to be desired, as the audience never fully learned why they were there or their overall story. Hanan Townsend created a beautiful and melodic score, but it did not fit the story itself. The same can be said about the cinematography. Certain shots are comparable to the close-ups in the film Blue Valentine by Derek Cianfrance, and the others to The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick. There were many exterior shots, particularly with Neil and Jane, that if a photographer had been standing by, could have been used for a couple's engagement photos. These two elements combined did not work with the type of story Terrence Malick was going for in this film. The story was told sequentially, but chose to show scenes as a snapshot within the characters' lives. While it was an interesting take, the traditional moviegoers would probably have a hard time understanding what was happening in Neil and Marina's lives. The story itself had such great potential, showing the toxicity of two people who absolutely love each other but are no good for each other. The execution didn't always come off the way Malick probably intended. In one particular scene, Marina and Neil are having a massive no-holds-back argument, and she storms out. Neil convinces her to come back inside and waves off his neighbors. In what could have been a very powerful scene showing the crossroads of their relationship, ended up causing a few titters from the audience at Affleck's brushing off of the very tense situation at hand. Overall, To the Wonder is the type of film that a very seasoned and studied film watcher would enjoy, but the traditional audience would find it pretentious and would not feel it was the type of movie they would want to kick back and watch on a Friday night.
So this is Terrence Malick.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful in that aspect. And it's inspiring.
Absolutely stunning to look at.
But the film itself starts acting like it is Ben Affleck's character in the fact that it's standing there, not saying a thing. You don't know who it is, what it's trying to do, and occasionally he gets enraged, right? His character gets enraged and he starts hitting people. I mean, people are dancing around this entire film.
And rolling on the ground.
On the floor.
I felt like Marina was cold the whole time. Like, I couldn't figure out what they were trying to tell us.
You mentioned that the Rachel McAdams character and Javier Bardem's character, who are these people? Why do they fit into this? We have this gorgeous imagery, but this lack of story going on here. And I know Terrence Malick normally takes a long time to put together his films. And this was like 2 or 3 years turnaround, I believe. I'm not completely sure.
Oh, wow.
But that is really showing in this.
Yes.
And I was really disappointed and actually upset at the kind of lack of care of story-wise. What is the purpose here?
It felt like there was no story.
Yes, and you could argue that he's a philosophical filmmaker, right?
He is. I actually looked up Terrence Malick after seeing the film, and he studied philosophy. He's a very intelligent man, and it shows. But for a traditional audience, most people haven't studied philosophy. They don't have their PhDs in, any of that. And yet he is expecting them to have the same level of knowledge that he does.
It's just, I don't know. I came out of this like it's very beautiful. And that's what I thought.
It was beautiful. I liked looking at it. I don't even feel there was a story. I feel that it was just a set of visuals and a girl rolling around on the floor, being cold.
That's a nice summary.
Do you have a favorite Terrence Malick film? Please tell us by commenting in the box below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Price of Admission.